Hello everyone, we are back again. The SWOT analysis, the prediction, the journey we are about to discuss. Upcoming journey, we are not predicting, we are not that astrologer, we are not the Nostradamus to predict and what will happen will come exact. So, yes, we are now talking about South Africa, the finalists of T20 World Cup 2024. Their journey has been topsy turvy. They lost against India by 3-1. One match was in Lucknow that was cancelled due to fog and everything. But that was also a good series for them. Bits and pieces they performed well. So now we will discuss about South Africa's squad and everything. So we have got Ayan and Anup, like ever. We are the three in this video, in this segment. So Ayan, like they tried too many players. Like if you look at the 27 or more than players they tried in the 2 years after 2024 T20 World Cup. There were some contract disagreements as well. Shamsi no longer plays now. Miller plays according to his availability. So does Keshav Maharaj. Literally in 2024, just when that you remember in October, November, there was India South Africa T20 series. Those guys were playing in CPL. Sabresh Shamsi, David Miller, and Keshav Maharaj because they were committed to that. Like they could have come for 10 days and then again went back, but that didn't happen. Also, the sudden resignation of Rob Walter as the white ball coach and Shukri Conrad now being the T20 head coach as well, also the ODI head coach. The things look quite a bit messy if you look at because they didn't pick the Bartman also, Oatmeal Bartman, the fast bowler, who had a very good run in T20 World Cup 24, also in SA20 League, which we covered on Gold Red website and everything. Do you think like South Africa has the what you call the X factor? Like Markham's form is a good indication against West Indies we saw, but still there are concerns in the middle order. Like they can again fumble and like they got the tax of chokers as well. They can choke again. Like I'm telling you, it's not a great sign for a side which was the finalists. What to say?
Yeah, South African team is a good side. They picked a good squad, but the problem is they tried so many players in the last 1 year or two that by the time they came to selection, the selection time came to pick the squad, we knew they will make some mistakes. And initial mistakes that they made were not picking Ryan Rickelton and Tristan Stubbs. This was the initial mistakes that they made. But as the SAT20 went on, injuries started to happen, and Tony De Zorzi got ruled out, and Donovan Ferreira got ruled out. And so then they went back to Ryan Rickelton and Tristan Stubbs. And Ryan Rickelton is basically a backup for Quinton de Kock. So that's why these mistakes were there. One mistake they still persist with is, as you said, Oatmeal Bartman. He has not been picked. And they've gone with Anrik Nokia, who just goes for runs. He goes for 2 overs 40, 3 over 67. It's that kind of a thing. So I don't know why Nokia has been picked, just because of pace. But the squad looks decent. Aiden Markram will be the key. He's the form guy. He's the anchor guy who holds the innings together. But watch out for Quinton de Kock. He loves batting in India, and he's been in stellar form in the West Indies series. And then at the middle order is an underbelly. I think they need to figure out who bats where, because sometimes Jason Smith is sent up, sometimes Tristan Stubbs is sent up. They're sent up and down the order. And then David Brevis sometimes is sent at number 3 ahead of Ryan Rickelton. Last match against West Indies, I saw Ryan Rickelton was batting at 4. Brevis was batting at 3. I didn't understand the concept. And then you had, Devil Brevis can't play a long inning. Simple as that. Simple. David Miller, he'll be fit. He also got injured in SAT20. But the good news is that he has got medical clearance and still subject to fitness. He will be fit, I think, for the T20 World Cup. So that is the good news for them. The bowling looks decent, Kagiso Rabada, but he goes for runs. So it's a bit of a mess because they used, I think, 30 or 40 players in 18 matches. And that has created the mess. And so they're in a tough group. Also, they may be last year's finalists, but they're in a tough group, just like New Zealand group of that. So they have to cross that. If they cross that, then they can make it to the Super 8s. But in the Super 8s, unlike New Zealand, they'll be in a very tough group, which will have India, Australia, and possibly West Indies, if everybody goes according to plan. So I see South Africa, I won't say group stage exit because that's going to be really humiliating. I will say Super 8 split ho jayega. After that, semi-finals looks tough for me. I don't think they'll make it, but they might make the semis, but then I'll leave it at that, not beyond that. I think that is South Africa's prediction for me.
Yeah, South Africa, like again, under the regime of Shukri Conrad, the team won Test series in India after 25 years. They won ODI series against Australia, against England. T20 series also was a good one. If you look at it, against England, they squared by 1-1. One match didn't happen due to rain. Australia, they lost by 1-2. but they also lost the final of Tri Series as well against New Zealand, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. So it's a mixed bag, but they have the team and analysis as well. If you look, Keshav Maharaj can be a good bowler in all the three phases. Like I'm saying, the power play as well in the middle overs and also if needed in the death overs as well. So the thing for South Africa, one thing is concerning like bowling attack. Like Anthony Notke has been picked, but actually he refused the central contract. He wanted to play the franchisee leagues around the world. And see, Quinton de Kock also retired from 2023 ODI World Cup, but just when Shukri Conrad came back into the wide ball setup and all the things, Quinton de Kock came. Andrik Notke, who was played the last final, he also came back. So there's a kind of what to say a terror we can say, no offense, but dar beta hai कि like there's Shukri Conrad now we have to play nicely, the fear and everything because he's quite a strict guy, the man who won South Africa the first major ICC event 2025 WTC final. I'm seeing the squad is also similar. Shamsi, they needed Shamsi, but Linde is also good bowler. He's a batting spin bowling all rounder we can say. But Bartman, who will play the role of Bartman? Because see, they should not make the mistake of playing Kwena Mafaka immediately because he's quite young, 19 years old only. Because he doesn't have that much experience and he's taken a lot of beating as well. He concedes more than 50, 40 runs in 4 overs. He's very young, very raw, but you never know. South Africa, like they can go with Kwena Mafaka, Lungi Nikidi, and Kagiso Rabada, or may leave Eric Notke as well. The selection process is also very intricate for them. So, Anup sir, like your take on South Africa. Batting looks good, like they have a Rickelton, Stubbs, Jason Smith
Yeah.
also against all odds. He made it to the playing squad, the 15 squad, but it's going to be quite a roller coaster ride for them.
Yeah, on paper, South Africa looks a very fine team. I would not say the best team, only because, as everyone has mentioned, their bowling looks in jitters. Because see, you are playing in subcontinent areas. In subcontinent, especially in India, you are playing the matches, and where the spinners are going to play a huge role. And in your team, you have one regular spinner in form of Keshav Maharaj, and one you might call him a regular one in T20s, but mostly an part-timer in George Linde. And you will have some part-time off-spin from, if required, Eden Matram. But where is, as you mentioned, where is Tabrez Samshi, the other regular spinner in your team? And instead of that, you have filled your players with your team with the fast bowlers with lights of Mafata, who is relatively new. Tadisor Abada, yes, he is an experienced bowler, but in we have seen the pattern even in test matches or ODIs, even in IPL, we have seen that Todiso Brabara goes for a lot of runs and he has a tendency to bowl no balls frequently. Then comes Lungi Ndidi, and then Ndidi is subjected to fitness because we never know when Ndidi will get injured. Andrit Nortio, he leads due to his express pace. 4 overs, he those on Lithin runs. So that leaves South Africa with the option like playing the all-rounder Corbin Bosch into the team who can bowl fast. So Corbin Boston definitely may saying so the batting order looks fine. Quinton de Kock, as everyone knows, he loves playing in India. He's in great form, scored a century against West Indies recently. So he's had a good SA T20. So he is in good nick of form. Tristan Stubbs coming from the winning the SA T20 title. He's coming back to the squad. Luckily, he came back because Donovan Ferreira, the hard hitter batter which South Africa required at the death overs, got injured. So he comes back. And then David Miller, he is subjected to fitness again. So her middle order looks a little dicey because Deval Brevis, we never know which version of Deval Brevis will come out. He is like that attacking batter who will go on attack from assault from first ball. So he might get out early in light. He might get out early in conquest of runs, or he might score a century or a half century in quick time. So that type of batting is from Deval Brevis. And Eden Markram, as everyone know, he will play the anchor role. So he might consume balls as well. Saying so, South Africa is in a group of data then versus New Zealand, Afghanistan. So first they have to come out of that. And even though they come out of that, South Africa has to face the likes of India and Australia, especially in Super 8s. And India in the recent series we saw, even though they won one match, but then in the rest three matches they were totally hammered by India, especially Hardik Pandya's brutal hitting took South Africa away, blown South Africa away in India. So let's see, because their first warm-up match, ideally they are playing India two times, because if we can't get much out of the warm-up match, but warm-up match also on fourth they are playing against India only. And then in Super 8s they are playing against India. So more than other teams, South Africa would be the team who will be having a better idea of India as a team in the World Cup. So let's see how Africa use this to their advantage. Yes, the road to semi-final is very tough, but seeing the progression of South Africa in recent years, they have been the team going to the semi-finals and finals more often. But वही ICC का जो कर्स है उनके ऊपर, they choke at the wrong moment. If that comes to haunt him, I don't see South Africa winning the T20 World Cup yet. Then they might just go like New Zealand is one of my five teams into the semi-final. So South Africa is one of them. It's either of New Zealand or South Africa which will make to the semi-final. दोनों नहीं करेंगे, उनमें से कोई एक करेगा. So my prediction is like South Africa will go to Super 8s at the
Yes,
moment.
yes. If you look at South Africa's schedule, I'll give a quick one. They are playing 9th February against Canada at Ahmedabad, and they are playing 11 at again at Ahmedabad, but it's a day game, 11 a.m. And their third game is on 14th. That's also in Ahmedabad, against New Zealand. So two night games at Ahmedabad, one day game, and one match is at Delhi at 18th. It's a day game, so that becomes just a formality match. If they win 2 to 3 matches, if they don't, that
So
becomes a
good news is no travel for South Africa.
three games back to back. They are in the same venues. New Zealand is traveling. First two matches at Chennai, then they are going to Ahmedabad, then again at Chennai. That will take some sort of mental toll on them. And they have gap also, 1 to 2 days gap. That's sufficient for players to regroup and everything. It's going to be quite a entertaining one, this T20 World Cup. And I'm telling you, the associate nations, if you look, Canada, the likes of UAE, they've got nothing to lose. They are just here to play. They get the match fees that's sufficient for their board, for the players and everything. If they win, that's a huge upset. Like 2024, we saw so many upsets. So be ready. USA defeated Pakistan, and Afghanistan defeated big teams. Like Australia also they defeated. That was another part in the Super 8 stage. So I think Indian conditions will suit Canada because and UAE as well. So you never know. Like any big team can also get knocked out by the other teams. But like one thing ICC can do, like they can have a separate group of associates. Like suppose like Canada, UAE, Oman, Nepal in one group, like 5 teams. They will play with each against in the first round, and the big teams will play in first. Because if you look at, there's only one big group only, the death of group only. Other groups are quite balanced. If you look, 2 to 3 big teams, 2 small teams. But here it's like only 2 big teams and 3 big teams and 2 small teams. So that's how it goes there. So if you ask about my prediction, I'm going ahead with South Africa Super 8 and also the semi-finals because they are wounded. They lost the 2024 final. All the players were very sad. The retirement of Quinton de Kock. Now he reversed it. They don't have that much power hitters, huh? Don't get me wrong. They have the technique. They have the skill. They know how to find the gaps, like the likes of Tristan Stubbs, Deval Previs. Not like a power hitter like New Zealand or in West Indies where the bowlers will get threatened or frightened. But they know how to score runs. If Eden Markram gets the team to a flyer in almost every games, then the middle order will be relaxed. They don't do the hard work. Because what happened in 2024 T20 World Cup, no, Markram didn't perform even in not a single game. It was all to the middle order. There was Klaasen, there was Miller, there was other batters. Rico had to do a lot of hard work. So if Markram performs well, they are in a very good space. So let's see how it goes at. And yes, we'll continue our SWOT analysis of other teams as well. 20-team tournament. Second time we are having 20-team tournament in ICC 1. Let's see how it goes at South Africa. This can be our World Cup, but a long way ahead, long rally ahead, we can say. So thank you, Ayan and Anup sir. We'll be back all the folks. Yeah, bye.